I welcome the co-founders of the TechScalable for this session on startup stories. Right now, there is no hope for saying I'm going to be the best of the best within 2 days. It's impossible to do that because it takes an years and years of practice and the evolution over the course of time. And trust me, we had a session from Shivam sir, and the amount of dedication that he puts in to deliver any session. I think I felt so proud that okay, I'm getting taught by somebody like him. And I told to myself, like, let's just get to know what their startup story was. And so right now I'm there with Kopal ma'am and also Shivam Sharma sir to get to know what is their journey in bringing out a startup which is more impactful in terms of education and the things like that. But also they're also good developers. Trust me, they have been in the development field for the years and years now. And now they have built their own startup and it's amazing. And let's just get to know, demystify some more of their journey in starting their own startup, building themselves as an engineers, and how to learn to teach. That's what we are actually learning here. So I welcome you all, folks, and I also welcome Shivam sir and Kopal ma'am for this podcast and the startup stories episode that we are starting from Neural Minds and Pioneer Bengaluru chapter.
Thank you. Thanks for having us here. And we will definitely welcome everyone and those who will watch this live and those who will also uh, watch this later on Vishwas's YouTube channel or on any other channel as such. So thanks for having us here. And we are super
Yes.
excited to have this discussion as such.
I just wanted to know, like, you guys have that amazing experience of bringing out toxicity of technology to every person. You just go in and you teach them and they fall in love with the technology. Like I think last month we did a session from a community and most of them who DM'd me back and they told me like, how can Shivam sir teach in that caliber? Like, I know it's in years and years of experience, but having that experience of a developer, I want to know what's your developer story.
So basically, if you can excel in any field. It's not that you have to be a developer or you have to be in tech field. You excel in any field as such. It's what it takes is if you love something and you invest your time in that, you could become good in that particular field, and then maybe one day people appreciate you in that. So that's very you can say that is something which is very good or something which you should focus towards. And part of my journey. So we, from the TechScalable's point of view, we started in 2019. But the thought behind this company has been there since many, many years. I may not be able to put my finger on when did we started thinking about you can say forming this journey which we are doing together. And where we have multiple people now joining in as part of the company, and we are growing further. The customer base is growing further, and so on and so forth. However, as the people says that either you make your own dreams come true or you work for somebody else's dream. So that thing is actually very true. So I encourage people to start their own entrepreneur, you can say dreams or whatever they like to do. They should do that because they should invest their time in doing that particular thing. So that's something which I want to start with. And Kopal, if you can add few pointers from your experience as well, that would be great.
So, as Shivam very well said, either you work for somebody else's dream or you work for your own dream. So it's just that now we got the right path, and yes, we thought this is a path wherein we are working actually on our dreams, because it's not as you very well mentioned that yes, it's not we thought it yesterday. It's a long-term plan that we had in mind, that we wanted to do something of our own, and that's where luckily we all connected with each other, and we got the path to move on, and that's how we all three of us started the journey of TechScalable. And yes, we started adding up people in our company rather than working for somebody. Now we have all the dots joined in. Like I would say that when we were working for someone, we know what were the pain points and what are the things. And coming with so much of experience actually made us thought, okay, now if we are having someone in our company, we need to know how to join the dots, and then that's how we guys are moving on. And luckily, we are successful in that so far.
Yeah, because pandemic hit and most of the people lost their hope. And like literally, legit, I have seen like many people who literally wanted to do startup, they didn't end up building startup. Those who had startup, they shut it down. And a lot of things happened. Like, how did you guys leverage it? That's what my question is, because you are all developers once upon a time. Like you have an industry experience. Now bridging it as for the students' requirement. Right now, you also do consultancy to some firms, and also you also give an learning partner kind of an experience for the other folks also, like those who want to come and learn, they just can hop in and they can start learning something new from TechScalable also. So I wanted to know, how did you leverage this time?
So yeah, that statement is pretty correct. When we started working on TechScalable, there was no COVID at that point, and then suddenly after a few months, the COVID started. So I remember in the initial phases, we were thinking about like whether it's going to work out or not, and so on and so forth. So we are born, or you can say during the hardest time as such, and not, the time is changing now, and we have, you can say, but we have grown with leaps and bounds in that. So the reason behind which I think that we were able to grow is that it all depends on, when you start something, there is a thought process behind that, that you look up that there is a gap in the market and then you are trying to fill up that particular gap. So if your thought process and the reason by which you are, the services which you are trying to provide, the value which you're trying to add to the community or to India or maybe to the world as such, so that value which we are adding, if that value is you can say valuable as such, then definitely it's going to work out. You just have to put your you can say day in day out into it, and we were pretty you can say lucky to be able to survive the COVID time. We thrived it, and we are further, we'll continue on top of it.
Just to add on that, sorry, the focus was there. So that's the reason, though pandemic has given a very major hit to all the companies across the globe, but still that focus was there for all three of us, and that unity was there, and we were just looking forward that yes, whatever it is, whatever the situation is going to be, we are not going to stop. Let's keep doing our hard work, and that actually paid us and made us sail out through that particular tough time as well.
You
Yeah,
say
but
right
I
that
wanted
the tough time doesn't last, the tough people last. So that's, you just become tougher and tougher on the way, and that's what happens in life like that.
Yeah, but I wanted to know your techie story. Like, how was your techie life? Like, when you were more in the industry, like, how was that life? Like, what do you expect from that? Like, like many people join in different companies with different dreams, saying that, okay, I want to be a researcher one day, I want to be that person one day, and things like that. But I wanted to know, what are your techie stories? Like, we all have strived in the industry, like somehow or the other. I used to do some freelancing stuff. Yeah, there were a lot of pain points in that also. So I think probably you guys have a lot and lot to say about your techie story. So I want to know your techie story.
So my journey has been pretty long and pretty you can say bumpy or rough as well. But basically, the fundamentals should always remain clear, and if the fundamentals are okay, then you will be able to you can say go towards what you are aiming or trying to achieve as such. So one thing which I have seen is that whatever you do in the past is what you are today, and whatever you do today will be what happens in the future. So now, as I was saying that since a very long time, even before my college days, I always had this thought in mind, or this principle, or this defining, you can say, way of conduct or discipline was there, that one day we'll be working for our own sir. We have to make something on our own. And I never had that vision of working for anyone else. That thought was maybe never, you can say, is now is very clear, but at that time it was just like a hazy thought as such. But my tech journey has been complementing the goals which I have set maybe 10 years back. I worked in multiple startups as such to understand the journey of the startup. What various things do you have to deal with? And when you work in a startup, the learning curve is pretty high versus working in a tech giant. So the knowledge which I have absorbed from there, the experience which I did, the choices which I made, that's what I am today, and whatever I'll do today will be what I'll be in future. So That's what I tell to everyone, that if you are planning whatever, so do what you love, have your vision, believe in yourself, just set your goals correct, work towards it. It's going to work out. It takes time. There will be hardships, ups and downs, and so on and so forth. The technology will change. You may start in one thing. You may have to end up working on another one. Your fundamentals should be pretty strong. You should be adaptable. You should be resilient. You should be able to learn things quickly. Don't give up, and so on and so forth. So these idealistic fundamentals always remain there. It doesn't matter how big you grow up, or maybe what's your you can say background. But if the fundamentals are there, things work out in the end. Or even if they don't work out, then also we just don't give up and keep on working in the direction. So multiple startups, multiple technologies. I started before when clouds were not popular. DevOps, Kubernetes didn't existed. Uh, there was machine learning was not so mainstream. Artificial intelligence was not that mainstream. The people we used to work on premises and so on and so forth. So the journey was long, adaptable, and that's the fundamental. And just to add, Kopal comes from Kopal she leads the sales in TechScalable sales and finance as such. So she will be able to share a different side of the story. Running a company is not all about product. It's not about tech. It's a different ball game altogether. There are so many things you will never realize what all you have to end up doing. You may not realize how you can say dynamic or multi-dimensional it is, but definitely it's worth it. So Kobal, if you can add few stories when you from your time that you can also share with the community here.
Yes. So yes, as Shiva mentioned, I don't have a tech background as such, but close to, I would say, 8 years back is when I ended up entering into a company which was a tech company, and being into a sales, I was forced to learn the basics of the tech so that at least I can survive in the market. I can make the company grow. And that's what started adding up the value. And that's how I added up a value to TechScalable when three of us got connected. So it's not that every person who start a startup has to be from a tech background. So me from a sales background has bring in all together a different experience in TechScalable. And that's what has helped TechScalable keep growing simultaneously. And yes, on a same path, I would say. So risk-taking capacity has to be there within us, I would say. That's what I challenge myself when it comes to the sales. So yes, there is always a new challenge in front of you. Looking at that, yes, I'm not from a tech background. I'm absolutely from a non-tech background. But yes, the basic learning has helped me out. And thanks to Shivam and Mamta, who kept injecting at least the basic knowledge in me, which actually helped me out rather, I would say, to sail through. And to as together as a company, we started doing good, and we are looking for like a very long term, I would say. It's just like what, almost close to 2 years now. So it's not a big time, I would rather say. So it's just a 2 years, but yes, it's a long way that we have to go together. And for me, cloud, AI, ML, as Shiva mentioned, all these are new terminologies, but yes, I started learning it, what exactly it is, so that I can talk to people, I can communicate with them, I can make them understand, especially at the time of pandemic, as we are seeing a lot of people have been losing jobs. So they are looking for new things to learn. So it's, for me, it's very important to make them understand what is the future of these particular technologies going ahead, as technology, is emerging, it's day by day, it's like changing on a very fast pace. So it's a new experience altogether for me to talk to them, to understand their pain points, and to guide them on a right thing. And luckily, in case, and Shivam and Mamta are always there with us, so it's always a support for me in case if I get stuck somewhere on technical. So these guys take over and help me out to move ahead. So that's how three of us, and for to form a company, as Shivam very well said, it's not that you just need to have only technical or only sales. You need to know all the things to start up, especially in a startup. At least the basic understanding of everything is very, very important. So I would say not just tech, not just sales, not just accounts, not just marketing. It's all together, everything you need to know in a bit, and at least the basics of it.
Yeah, I know this is not the regular tech session that Shivam sir gives, or else what Mamta ma'am would have also given. I think this is like completely more of like MBA class, which is like more of a case studies done on a company and things like that. So, like,
Absolutely.
I don't think so. Like, Shivam sir and Mamta ma'am can only build a product into a marketable source, or else there is a requirement for an MBA folk or an accountant or a marketing guy to add that value to the product. That's what it is all about. So if somebody thinks that okay, I'm just good in tech and I'm gonna build this product, I'm gonna build this startup, it's impossible to do that. I just wanted to know, like, what were those problem statement during those days? G came out with this Lean Six Sigma model, and they just built themselves as a humongous company right now. And there are a lot of case studies which have been coming up and saying that, okay, this company used this technique, this company used that technique. Like, I just wanted to know, like, when you were building startup, like before building startup, what were the problem statement looking to you? Like, what was the form factor of the problem statement when you look at it right now, and what do you feel about the problem statement that you had solved?
So now that particular sentence is something on which we can speak for days and days as such. But definitely you can say that the when you look at the pace at which technology is changing, it's pretty alarming also. The When you are in college, if I take you back maybe to the college days as such, in our education system, these set curriculums or these set courses, these set let's say if you do any particular degree as such, whatever they teach over there may end up being obsolete by the time you reach the market as such. By the end of your BTech, maybe you did a 4 years of BTech, then by the end of it, you whatever you have learned may not be you can say may only be applicable in 10% in the real world. So the world is changing with a huge pace. So this is what I also faced when I got out of college. I understood that the amount of learning which I had to do, the curve which is there, that curve is something which I realized by working in multiple startups, that there is a huge gap in the market. There is a huge area where we can cater, where we can provide consulting, we can provide our training services, we provide the workshops as such to various professionals from various, you can say, in various parts of their fields right now. Maybe they are freshers, maybe they have 1 to 5 years experience, 5 to 20 years experience, 25 years experience. So so what do? We basically earlier, if I remember it correctly, the pace was very slow. If you pick up one skill, one technology, that's sufficient. Sort of, you can say 15 years back, that may be sufficient. But then the clouds came out. The clouds. One thing which the clouds have done is that they increased the capacity, or they increased the plane on which you need to increase your skills as such. You can do way more, or you're expected to do way more in any company today versus what you were expected to do maybe 15 years back or 20 years back. So this particular factor, this gap which we see, if we talk about AI today, let's say I started working in artificial intelligence in around 2015 as such, when the ImageNet was, you can say, the various ImageNet challenges were going on and things were becoming more, you can say, more mainstream. So I also understood it, and then I can see that the growth which it offers. Now, artificial intelligence can be used in any sector. You can it has a huge market in healthcare. It's very beneficial also, not from the business point of view, but we can add a huge value to the community, to the human species as such, the race itself altogether. The way you can do maybe diagnostics way better, way quicker. If you if we would had those, let's say, if we would have those classification models maybe before, during the COVID time, then the stress which was on the Indian healthcare system would have been very less. When the diagnostics were taking 3 days to be done, we could have done that with the help of the X-rays as such. So we could have done things which were in you can say in a different way today. So looking at all of this, basically what we provide is we provide that bridge between what you are and what you want to be or what you will be. And we one of the major section or the sector of services which we offer are these workshops which we do. These workshops are us is something which you, if you take the workshops on Saturday, you will be able to apply it from Monday onwards. So hands-on, aligned to the market, cutting edge. We see that gap in the market, and we are providing our services right now to fill up that particular gap as such. So the journey has been long. We work on everything cutting edge. When DevOps came out, we moved into it. When Kubernetes came out, we started doing it. When artificial intelligence became mainstream, we also can say we offer services in that. So that's the market which we cater to, and which I also want everyone to understand that. As I was saying, the fundamentals should be very correct. You should be adaptable. You have to learn. You cannot stay accept the change. Whenever the change happens, accept it and keep on moving with it. Keep on adding those deltas every day. So, or over a period of time, you will be able to maybe absorb a new technology, or even if the market changes suddenly, you will not take the hit that much. So, this is my advice to everyone. Just keep on learning as such, and do that.
Gopal ma'am, I wanted to know your way, what you saw as the problem statement, because you are not from the tech, but you have seen the money side of tech. I think so. Probably you have seen a lot of money side of tech. I think so. So I just wanted to know, like, what was those times where problem statements were very different from what we have today? Like today, like any startup can be a part of the $1 billion industry. Like they can have a huge chunk of contribution to the $1 billion industry or $1 million industry as such. So what were those problem statements that you saw in those times?
So from my side, I would say yes. As again, he mentioned that the basic education, what anyone takes away from, I would say, from the college, and when they move on to the real world, they see there's a lot more wherein they can learn. The lot more opportunities are there in the market as well, and they have to build in that gap, right? Because the real time world is totally different from the education. But yes, education is something, the basic education, it has built up the base for you. And that's when somebody has to have, I have seen that somebody has to have that. If you have an urge of learning it, then you can connect those dots and keep building yourself. So workshops, what we do is actually help us out, any individual, to ramp up quickly, because it's not a very long duration workshops. It's a short duration workshops looking at the current market trend, what we brings in the picture. And I have seen a lot of individuals have been growing with these short term courses. And yes, at the end of the day, tech is limitless. Like it's every day you see new things coming in. From my perspective, if I see that when I started my journey with a tech company, and I have seen a lot of new things have been come up, because when I started, only I heard the word as like cloud. Then I slowly and gradually saw there are three multiple clouds. Amazon was the first one, what I was hearing at that point in time. Then slowly Microsoft also jumped into Azure, and then Google also came in picture. And then I see a lot of companies have been moving on to this, and then gradually DevOps came in picture, then AI, then ML. So there's no stop to it. So every I would say every time I keep seeing a new things adding up in this. And that's when I feel that people also have to keep injecting knowledge in themselves, so that they keep growing with a pace. And yes, to grow, move ahead, you have to have those short-term workshops, but you need to keep going at the same pace with the world to keep learning. So learning is like endless, I would say, absolutely endless. There's no stop to it at all.
Yeah, but like I just wanted to know because Shivam sir and Mamta Jama, I've seen most of their sessions like in 2020 and 2021, like how I could actually get in because thanks to this virtual world, because we need not have to travel like long distance. It's just like in the tip
Absolutely.
of your finger. Like you just click on that, click on the YouTube TechScalable channel. You will have some sessions going on. Like every week there is almost one session coming up. I think so. It's from
So that's
TechScalable.
Yeah, so that's what pandemic has made us go reach out to the market in this particular manner a lot, rather
Yeah.
than having an in-person workshops. Let's have the workshops online, and that's what Shivam and Mamta are really good at. So we are reaching out as many people as we can, and try to I would say try to spread the knowledge as much as we can through these particular sessions, and that's the reason why we guys put it on YouTube as well, or rather on all social media channels. I would not just say YouTube, but yeah, on
LinkedIn,
LinkedIn,
Facebook.
on Facebook, on I would say Insta, everywhere we try to reach out as many people as we can through this particular medium.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to add that this is a thought which we had. The reason why we are doing so many workshops, so many webinars so frequently is we came up. See, education is something which is should be free, to be honest, and this is higher education or something which can add value. Should be available to everyone. Now, when we work, the type of work which TechScalable provides, one of the major vertical in our company is that we are aligned with multiple corporates. So when you work with these corporates, the problem statements are basically custom to that particular requirement. Maybe we are solving something for IBM, we are solving something for VMware, we are solving something for HCL, for Dell, or for PwC or something. So now that information is very selective to that audience. Those the individuals who will join us for those sessions in the corporate environment, the knowledge is stayed over there. So this is one thought which we had a few months back, that we were thinking of that we should have some sort of community oriented, you can say, series of workshops or maybe sessions or webinars where whatever we know, whatever we have learned over few many years as such, in multiple technologies, we should be able to tell it to everyone in a manner in which they will understand it, in a manner which is as practical as possible, in a manner in which we can inspire them to go in that particular, to make the right decisions as such, to be able to look at the technology and ride the curve and not be, you can say, lagging behind the curve itself. So we started this Tech Edge series of webinars. I'm not sure how much are we able to portray that Tech Edge series, but this is something which we will continue, where we will always, whatever we have learned in the cutting edge tech approaches, techniques, everything will be, you can say, free for everyone. You can always join us during these webinars. You feel free to connect to us later on as well. And if you join us over there, we will, and we do, as you are saying, that we do sessions every week, and we try to pick up the topics which will help, which you can look up to, and you can, if you pick those topics today, the ROI of that, the investment of time which you are doing into it, that ROI of that time will end up in, you can say, better jobs, better enriched, you can say, careers, and so on and so forth. So look up for these sessions, and that's the thought behind those webinars. And the approach which we take is slightly different from what you will see others taking it as such.
So as Shivam is mentioning about this Tech Edge series, I have seen that we are just going ahead in the market, and people are actually seeing the kind of quality and the knowledge that we guys have. And there are a lot of people and a lot of companies I see coming up with their problem statement and looking for the solutions and need our help, wherein yes, we have been like really really helpful to them, and that's how we have been in the market. And we feel so good and proud at the end of the day that yes, people are coming back to us with their problem statements and need our help in fixing those dots up, which they are unable to as a company. So being a startup, if you see that kind of an attraction which is coming in, and wherein we can help people out in the world, it's like amazing. It's really amazing, because not just in India, I have seen people approaching us even from abroad, and they say we have been going through your lot of webinars, we have seen your workshops, we have been going this tech Ed series what you have started. So this actually helping people out in the world.
Yeah,
I hope
that's
it
true.
ends up becoming something, you can say, I hope that ends up becoming something which we can, you can say, if you start something, you should be consistent, and hopefully we'll be able to keep on adding these webinars for the community forever. And we are also planning of inviting other you can say speakers from various sectors or people who we deal with them, and they will also be there for the community to share the whatever they have learned. And that's the thought behind those regular Tech Edge series webinars.
Sure, that makes lot and lot of impact. I'm not even joking, because sometimes I've seen lot and lot of techies, and I have the dream like one day I have to be like them, and like my efforts will always be streamlined towards being very good in that, not just tech but everything in I do, because I see that pattern, like whatever they do they're good at it. So that's what it is. I think it's going to be a lot of impactful move to, it's going to be a very impactful move to every person who just sees that section or webinar. So I just wanted last two questions, folks. Everything will be out for you for the Q&A after this. So last two questions. So I just wanted to know, how does TechScalable co-founders learn to deliver to teach? Like how to learn like TechScalable co-founders and teach it in such a way that everybody understands it.
Now that is something. So see, uh, if you can explain something, if there is something complicated and you are unable to explain that in a manner which is digestible, which is if you're unable to explain in an easy manner, if you're unable to explain it in a manner which people can understand, then you really don't know it, sort of. So what we do, we pick up the complicated stuff, but sometimes honestly what happens, some things are as tough as they can be. You cannot just simplify them. If you talk about mathematics, at one point it will be what it is. If you are thinking about any derivation as such, or if you're thinking about the how back propagation works, or maybe how RNN works, or how LSTM works, then basically the math behind that is going to be as tough as it can be. But if you can provide that step-by-step manner in which you can enable anyone to take those baby steps, and then you are able to, you can say over a period of time, converge onto the on learning a new topic. This is something which I have also personally realized that, and I'm not sure, I may not be able to answer that. How do I learn something in a manner in which I teach? I sort of naturally have this inclination towards understanding why something is there. If I learn something new, if I come across a new thought, if I come across a new technology, I always understand why is it there, why should I need it, is there any possibility of making it better, what is the fundamental principles around which it works, where can we change what. So that same ability of questioning every single thing which I come across, and the thoughts and the information which maybe I am absorbing to find the answers of that, that is something which I am able to impart in the sessions which I deliver and I try to be as easy as possible, as hands-on as possible. So the ability to teach is something which, if you love, you will be able to do it. And luckily, I love a sort of teaching, or to be able to deliver sessions or webinars. That is something which I always wanted to do, and that is something which I naturally also get it. And now I'm doing it. So I enjoy what I do. So enjoy what you do, and definitely you'll be able to teach it. So if you enjoy teaching, you will be able to give these sessions or webinars in any manner. And definitely you don't have to look up to anyone. You can be what you want to be. So that is something which I want to add, that become the best version of what you are, and don't look up at anyone, because that version may not be the version which you are, which you will end up being, or which you are sort of, whatever, as I was saying, whatever you do today will define your future. So make sure you're giving your best today, and leave the rest of the things. Like when you will start your own business or company, you will realize that there are so many things which are going on. You will always be on the edge, on the verge of another disaster which may happen. So keep your nerves, be patient, invest your time, and if you invest your time in explanations and teaching, you will be able to achieve that. So it's your choice. Whatever you want, you will be able to do it. You have to invest the time, and there is no easy way around it. That's the way it is.
Yeah, I felt it. I felt it on the day that you gave a webinar, and like he had an he had a vaccination done like 3 days before. Trust me, after me getting vaccinated, 1 week I was not in my senses. Like I was not even able to think about tech. And one day after the vaccination, I just started listening of the technologies that I've learned. I missed out on a lot of things. Like I couldn't even think about it. And Shivam sir came and gave a session after 3 days after being vaccinated. And I was like shocked. And I was like, oh my God, that's the amount of dedication that you require when you are not just building startup. Leave that. Building yourself as a professional, right? That dedication is what is required. Last question from my side, like how to approach a problem statement, like any problem statement that you want to just solve right now. So how to solve it, like how to approach it in the right way. That's my question. I think Kopal ma'am can also add on to this because making money is the ultimate goal, people. Like, let's just be very frank. We are all here to make money. And we are all here to get to know how to make it more quicker and faster. So I think approaching problem statement is one which everybody requires because not every company will be able to afford a problem statement which can be solved in $5,000. There are some companies which can lend you money for $50,000. That's for sure. There might be a company, but not every time it doesn't work the same way. So I just want to know how to approach a problem statement.
So now there are few points which I want to add before we take the approach, how to approach any problem is that, uh, so we personally also don't work for money. That's one difference which we have. If you are good in something, money will always follow. So when you are building something, don't try to, uh, you can say, don't think it in terms of business. Definitely to run a business, you have to pay your employees, you have to invest the money in a lot of different places. So you need it. There is a requirement of doing it. And definitely if you have investors, then also they will have the expectation of, you can say, getting the ROI of their investment from you. So, but from a very, you can say broader, you can say in a very broad respect, uh, we sort of don't work for money, but things sort of end up working out for us. So that's something which we do. And what is the problems? How do we approach something? I can see Mamta has just joined in. She is our third partner. Mamta, if you are there, the question for you is that how do we take any problem statement and how do we approach the problem statement?
Yeah, because from the time we have started, it's all new problems which we are facing because we had never been co-founders or entrepreneurs. So the journey has been obviously with a lot of jumps here and there. But yeah, we try to take different perspective. Each one of us, three of us, give their like what they think about that scenario, what has arisen, and then try to tackle in a way that uh, for the longer run, what would be better. We don't try to look for some immediate solution and try to fix it for a temporary thing. We try to do that on a permanent basis. So let it be a tech problem, let it be a non-tech problem. We try to look for a longer duration fix. We might be thinking it is a longer duration fix that we try to go with, and something which three of us agree upon so that everyone is in a good state. It's not like, and if one is not convinced, we try to convince the other person so that we all stand on the same page, because we have to work together and I'll say, go along together, right? That is more important for us. Three of us going together and having a good feeling. That is more important.
So definitely, so just to add, if you are planning of starting something, then the unity or the core team is something which is very important. If you have the people who have the same vision, then you can march towards that goal. And the problem statements can be, you can say, maybe what you are going to you're solving on every day-to-day basis. Or it might be something you are doing for the customer as well. So whenever we approach any customer's problem, also we have the same thought process that we are not here just for for the sake of providing you some short-term fixes. We provide the quality services, and understanding the problem statement is absolutely required. Like, what is the customer looking for? Why do they need it? What can we suggest to them? There are n number of things which you may be able to share with your customer if they have not done their homework properly. You may be able to add more value to them. And a lot of our customers are repeated customers. And whenever you run a business, repeating customer is something which is a very good thing to have. And that will only happen if you have if you think in terms of the good of the other person, or if you think in terms of you can say, how will the customer be, you can say, benefited by what we are doing. It's just not just doing something and getting out of there. It's about helping them in their own growth as well, because we are a type of company who provides services to multiple more companies who are also in their journey of starting their companies, or maybe they are in their middle-sized company, or maybe they are tech giants also. So adding value, understanding the problem statement, providing the long-term fixes, providing them, teaching someone, the teams as such, what should they do, what we would have done in their position, what should they do, how they should do it. This is the core belief which we also follow internally, and there's the same core belief which we also follow when we come across any problem statement as such.
So at the end of the day, we put ourselves in their shoe, think, and that's when we answer them. And that's how we come up with the solutions. So that's what is the best part, I would say, about TechScalable. That's how we are able to give them the answer what they are looking at.
Yes, I'm open for the questions. Every questions are completed from my side, because this is my humble attempt in order to understand what is it to build a startup and everything. So in this journey, I'll be calling a lot of people like TechScalable. There are other startups which are coming up. So now the session is open for you guys. You can unmute yourself and ask the questions. And I've allowed you to open for the video also. So you'll be featured in my channel also. So guys, any questions, do pop it up. Also, you can put it in the comment section so that
is anyone here who's thinking of starting or doing or having your entrepreneur journey? Or is there anyone here who is already running a business and would love to share or have any questions for us? Then do let us know.
Hi, this is Tarun. I also happen to be attending one of your classes on BP2 Note 3 Shiva. So, and I also wanted to say, yeah, I also belong to business family. But now then I'm into IT industry for last, it's been a decade. So I want to ask you from guys like you, Mamta, like how did you, what was the motivation factor for starting? When you, I know when you're good at one topic, you start presenting it, speaking at it, but what was the motivation factor? Because even I want to start my journey on it. So some tips, I don't know because I joined 15 minutes late, if I missed it. So if you can just throw some light on that, I think that would be grateful. But one thoughtful process, like attending your classes and all, the way of representing the things like the pictorial representation, it's kind of awesome to attract the people from tech industry. But what was the motivation factor when you started your journey? Could you please throw some light? I think that's my question I have. Yeah.
The question is Mamta for you.
Yeah.
The motivation factors, yeah, please. If you have time, please.
Yeah, sure. So I was working in our startup. Previous company was a startup in which it was just a gamble. I left my full-fledged MNC job and I joined there. I was working as a profit and loss sharing over there. So there I felt if you own something, it's the factor which drives you more, that ownership, what you get, that is something which was very driving factor for me. And I felt that I owned something, a lot of new ideas when you try to implement, you fail in some, you pass in some. It's not necessary you get success in each one of them. So trying out new things, having your ownership, no one dictating you what to do. You have your own thought process. You are trying to assess things, what would work in the future. Those things were very important for me. And that was something which was one of the most driving factor, I'll say, that made me quit my job and give it a try, whether this thing will work or not. So that was one of the things which I felt was the kick behind it.
But yeah, so I got it. So what the question? Yeah, this is one of the thing. But like when you're already working somewhere, like then you said you quit the job, but I think that's not the option for most of us. So how do we invest time in the things which were interested to us, like speaking at the events? So not sure how to put that question up, but yes, how to spare some time besides the regular job. So I think we have left. I think we're spending time on weekends and how to do that stuff. How to manage both basically. When like one is your regular thing and one is your interest. So how to make balance both on both. So yeah,
He's basically asking a question on how to do the community hustle. Like, how do you
correct.
manage
Yeah.
your job, and how do you actually give your time for the learning and also time for some webinars and workshops that we do every weekend?
Yes, I think.
That's what he's asking.
Yeah.
Actually, for us, it is
Yes.
pretty easy because for me and Shivam, I would say our job, our webinars, everything is the same. So it's not something different. What we learn,
Yeah.
that we showcase in the webinars, some new stuffs which we learn, we go ahead and deliver so that community also gets benefit out of it. And
Mhm.
to be very frank, I don't have that much of life out of work. I most of the time either I'm working or I'm studying. So my passion, my everything is the same. So
Mhm.
I don't have anything else to do, I would say. Sometimes Shivam keeps saying that you don't have any other topic to discuss as well. So that's the reason for me it was not that difficult because I was too much into work before as well, and that only I carried it forward. So not any other passion, hobby, not too many things. If I get free time, I paint. Otherwise, I don't have anything else to do. Sit and study.
Just to add to that, do what you like and definitely start loving what you are doing. And there is no easy way around. So if she was very kind to just say that it's very easy, but for example, Mamta may end up giving sessions in the morning and then webinars in the evening as such for the community. So at times, the maybe in a day, we are speaking for maybe 8 hours plus maybe 4 after that. So it ends up being, let's say, 12 hours of, you can say, sessions in one day. So things are not easy, but if you like something, you definitely have to invest your time into it. Get up early in the morning. I really, or maybe work late. So I basically sort of end up working late in the evening. Mamta is a type of person who works up, or gets up early in the morning and do stuff. If you like something, you have, and definitely just to add, working is, if your passion aligns with what you do, it's gonna end up easier than if your passion doesn't aligns with what you do right now. In that time, in that particular case, you may have to take out maybe 4 hours every day, 6 hours every day, or 2 hours every day, and slowly building those, you can say, building block on top of which one day you will be able to make that switch. One day you will be able to start that new technology. Maybe you'll get that new job. You'll start your own startup. You'll have your own business. So it's a thought. It's a plan. It's a very well thought plan, which takes maybe, it took maybe for me, it took, I think 6 years to be able to come to the point, to be able to add those every skill which we will be needing to start TechScalable. And then after that, we are here since 2019. So years and years of work is what it goes into it. And definitely anyone can do it. It's just about the time and the thought process behind it.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Shivam. Yeah, I think I got my answer. Yeah.
Finally, Tarun sir got his answer. Yep. I think, guys, any more questions, do ask it. So don't be shy, because this is nowhere to be a shy zone, because this is not your regular college like what I used to have till 30th. I just wrote my exam and I'm out of my final year from the 31st. So getting ready for my masters and things like that. So guys, do drop your questions right now. All right.
Yeah, hi, Siddharth. So I was
Hey, hi.
planning to, Amit. So I was planning to actually, I am planning to start up later on in my career after same thing, masters and everything. So I really feel that there will be a challenge. Like if I create a product right, how do you cater to the needs? Like how do you realize what the other person needs? Like your clients, how do you find them?
Now, there are multiple approaches which you will see, which happens in today's in startup which you have in India. If I give you my personal opinion, it may not be the opinion of everyone, but if I look at the patterns which I have seen, there are something which you can do. Like there is one thing which I have seen is people just follow the same path which others have followed in other countries. Like if there is a startup in US, that particular pattern or that particular need will also come in our market in few years, maybe in next 2, 3, 4, 5 years as such. So that is something which I have seen people do. They look up to other countries, other startups, and they copy what they do. The second thing which I have seen is there are a few people who will be able to understand that. See, either you can fix something which is wrong when you make a product, right? You may be. Second thing is you may be able to make a product which do the same thing which others are doing, maybe better than them. Third thing is you make a product which is doing the same thing which others are doing, but not better than them, but at the same level. You are just sharing the market cap. Or there is another thing where you are making something which is making people understand that this can also happen. This is something which you have no idea can happen. This is a new way of working. You change the industry in a manner where the thought never existed. There was no startup there. You make you go into, you can say, a path which is not that you can say which is more greener than the other ones. So now think in which field you want to be. Do you want to see, and when you make your own startup, now what's your motivation? Is money the motivation behind it? If that is the one, then it may be easier to work. You may have the same product which someone else has made, and then you cater to the needs of another market as such, and you show what happens over there. Now, second thing is, if you are looking for more than that, if you are, you can say, thinking of providing some solace, you can say, showing you're changing the world in a manner, then this is where you have to think, are you willing to invest your life into it? Because it may fail, it may not fail. You may walk the path which others have taken. You know it's going to work out. That's going to be the revenue as such after first year, second year, third year. You may even get some venture capitalists supporting you, or you may not. So, and how do you come to that? How do you find it? That's where you have to read a lot. You have to work in the industries. You have to select the domain in which you want to be. If you think about healthcare, education, energy sector, then you have to read about it. You have to learn about it. What has happened in the past? What were the patterns which were there? What are we missing right now? What will happen in next 5 years? What will happen in next 10 years? So make your plan accordingly. Make your you can say product in a manner which cater to that timeline and to the approach which you want to take. So invest your time, think it through, and then believe in it and work for it.
So Siddharth, little research would be required before you take a call on it, I would say. So you can do a market research, and that would only help you out when you just know about that particular, when you understand your vision towards that product. So you need to do little market research about it, and that's when you can plan your things accordingly.
Yeah, adding on to that, I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm still a student. I'll be student for next 7 years because I have planning for my PhD and postdoctoral. So for sure, another 7 years kept for my education. So don't laugh at it, folks, please.
Yeah,
I know
same
it's a
here.
very long time, but I
Kind
would
of
love to
4, 5
say.
years. Sorry. Yeah.
He's my friend, so that's why he knows everything about me. So I would just say, like, don't blindly do market research. Like, okay, some YouTuber is throwing out some Harvard research paper or something. Don't just go beyond like, okay, Jack Ma took this way. It's not like that. It's the one which you say like, okay, let it be anything, I'm going to work on it. It's not like I just studied the case study from that guy and I'm going to do this business. That's never going to work. And that's the most false intuition that you get. Like, if you see money, you get that false intuition that, okay, I'm fit for this industry, but you might be fit for something else. Like, probably Kopal ma'am is nowhere related to tech. She's working with the people who are managing the tech folks. Shivam sir is like, he's nowhere related to the balance sheet, but he's adding some value to the balance sheet right now. So that's what it is. Like, get to know your niche, get to know the space that you want to really make a disruptive move. Like, don't make a silly move of saying that, okay, I'm going to make money by just getting inside this industry. That's never an impossible thing. That's never impossible. But like, make it possible just by understanding your niche. That's it.
So money automatically will fall in place if your baseline is absolutely clear, your thoughts are clear. So there is no one who can stop you from earning money, not at all. But yes, when you're moving on to that path, the path, you need to have a proper focus about it. And it's not that just blindly follow, because there are n number of things on YouTube channel, on social media. So just don't blindly go about it. Think through it, and that's when you just take a step ahead slowly and gradually you will get onto your path.
Do ask your questions, then afterwards don't repent that you didn't ask the question. My God.
If you have questions in future also, you feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn, and always free to get on a discussion or on any topic as such, and trying to find us on the LinkedIn profiles as such.
Yeah. So thank you so much, folks. Thank you so much for your valuable time. I think we gained a lot of insights about building a startup and how to actually nurture it. So right now, there's a lot of hope for it also, but know your niche, get to do what it is. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything will be in your hands. So thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much to the co-founders of the TechScalable for making their time. And thanks to Mamta ma'am, who made a little bit of time, but was part of this meet. So thank you so much, ma'am, for you also. And thank you so much, all. Thank you for being
Thank you
part
so
of this
much
meet.
for giving us the opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the session. It was very useful. Thank you, brother. Thank you.